Alright, welcome back. Let's play a little bit of cribbage. Alright, first game against Nuge. Oh, I was studying this hand the other day. 3, 3, 4, 5. Tossing 8, 8 exactly. On average, it should be worth about 6 in the crib. Normally, 8, 8 is worth about 6.6 in the crib, but actually, no. Tell a lie. Tell a lie, it should be about 6. Oh, that's a huge crib. Okay, well, this just looks like double 5 in the crib. And we hit the 10, amazing. We got magic 11. We hit the 31. And we avoid the 15. Huge crib for us. Alright. Well, we either discard 4, 6 or 4, 10. And we hit an 8. Wow. Amazing stuff. I'll just pair that. Because we're far ahead, we don't really mind playing this risky. Oh, very big points. 8-7 from my opponent. Well, there's a flush in the hand, but not better than throwing a wow, another double run. Okay, 12 points for my opponent and 16 for me. 9. This is a crazy game. Here, my instinct is 3-7 or 3-9. I think 3-7. We want to keep the ace-4 with the 10, and with 7-9's a little bit too risky to throw away. We'll jump. There's a chance they lead a 9 here, or a 6. This one's nice and easy. Previous hand we should probably have a look at actually, because apparently we made a slight mistake there. They have double 3. They do have double 3. Oh no. Don't do the 2. 9, okay. Only 6 points. Oh, it wasn't 2, 2, 4. It was 3, 3, 4. We'll go to queen. It's all pretty much the same. Leading 4 here for no reason. We'll jump because 21 is 21 is extremely unsafe, but when you lead a 7, there's a good chance they don't have any 10s. And all my other cards leave runs open there. Nice and easy. And they resign. The overall stats, we got 20 on the play, 68 in hand, 31 in the crib. Massive game. Okay, let's jump into one of the hands that we had during the game. This was our hand. We were at 63.85, so we're significantly ahead. We're in fact doing very well positionally. Before we looked at our cards, we might have even thought that we could get to a nice position 95, 96. However, once we looked at our cards, ace 3, 4, 7, 9, jack, it's clear that getting 10 or 11 points this round is going to be difficult for us. So, what did we do? We discarded 3, 7. This is what we did. And we left ourselves ace 4, 9, jack. And we made actually quite a few points with that. So that was nice because we hit 15 off the 9. However, there was some instant feedback at the end of the round. You might have missed it in the bottom right hand corner earlier. That our discard wasn't the best, but let's have a think about what we would discard and in which situations we'd make those discards. So let's talk about qualities of the hand. Clearly we've got 15 with the ace 4 jack. The other 15 we have is a little bit more hidden. We've got an ace 3, 4, 7. So our 15s, we've got ace 4 jack and ace 3, 4, 7. So 15s. And how can we build around these? Well, ace 3, 4, 7 itself is already a hand. We have to discard 9 jack, and ace 3, 4, 7 is going to do pretty well because we've got 3, 4 together as a pair, and all the cards are generally quite low, so any card that comes up on the top is going to give us extra points. The only card that doesn't really give us points are 6s and 9s. 8s definitely give us a lot of points with the 3, 4 and the 7. 5s give us points and 2s give us points because of runs. Any 3, 4 ace doubles up, so it gives us an extra 4 points because of the pair and the extra 15. And so this improves in a very nice way. The other hands we can consider are the ones that come with ace 4 jack. So what other cards can we add to ace 4 jack? We can add in a 7, a 9, or a 3. So if we add in 7s, 9s, and 3s, 7s or 9s or 3s, what's the best thing to do? Well, if we add in the 3, then we discard 7, 9. It's not 7, 7, 7, 9. And this is, I'm going to write here, quite volatile, because anytime our opponent discards an 8 or hits an 8, they're going to get at least 5 points in the crib. It's quite big already. And considering our position, which is if our opponent scores huge, they'd have to score very big, I think. They could be in quite a good position at the end of the next 2 rounds. So if this round they score very big, let's say they get to about 86, that would involve getting 23 points, which is not unheard of. And then they score a pretty average pawn, get to 96. They might even get to 96 before we do, considering we score second as dealer next round. That would be a the worst case scenario, and we can avoid that a little bit by discarding either 3-9 or 3-7. And so that's what I'll put here, either 3-9 or 3-7 seem like the most reasonable discards. And so what have we done? We've tried to build a hand that has points, and we've tried to minimize our opponent's points. On the other hand, we could try and... So we've been building a hand that does score points, in a sense. On the other hand, we could just try and minimize our opponent's score in the crib if that's really what we want to do. And for that, things like ace-7, ace-jack actually come to mind. But I think in this case 3-9 is good enough. So let's jump over to the computer and see what it says. So we jump over to Liam Brown's Cribbage Discarder. Let's put in our hand. The suits don't really matter too much. There's no flushes, and we didn't really have too many of one suit. So, and what do we have here? I've edited the columns a bit from their normal. I've added in medians and I forget what standard, and I've also added an extra decimal place. And we see that the top suggestion is 9-jack. 9-jack is the best for... Well, and why is it best? It's mostly because it's getting us a lot of points in hand. So this is keeping ace-3, 4-7, which is not too much of a surprise, keeping all the low cards. Low card strategy. What else do we see? We see that if we throw away 7-9, that is giving us quite a big crib, and not only that, we should think about the standard deviation here, SD. So it's quite a high standard deviation, which means that some of the time this 7-9 can score quite low, but what happens often is the reason why the average is brought up is because whenever you hit a 5, not hit a 5, you hit an 8 and it scores 5 points. So that's something to watch out for, high standard deviations. Even if the average were lower, a high standard deviation might be something to stay clear of. 3-9. What's nice about 3-9? Low average, low standard deviation. Quite a safe bet, so I like 3-9 a lot here. And the hand score is not too low either, 4.41 as opposed to 5.09. Of course, these scores are dependent on our opponent's strategy and so on, so should always take these with a pinch of salt. So anything that's less than 0.1, you can ignore. But here we're talking about things that are 0.4, so slightly more significant. Other discards that have low cribs, we've got 7-jack. So ace-3, 4-9. And that's curious. I wonder why 7-jack is worth less in the... Well, no, sorry. Let's see. So 7-jack scores overall better than something like 7... What else? 3-7. No, 3-7 scores better overall, but it has a higher crib. So why is 3-7 in the crib worth more? It's probably because it hits 5s better. Things like 4-5 and 5-6, if those are discarded, they hit a run as well. But yes, 3-7 has a much higher crib. 7-jack, I guess, is fairly... It's an odd combination of cards. This is a... 7s usually go well with other middling cards, and jacks want to go with either higher cards or 5s. And it's hard to get middling cards that add to 5. So, no, that makes sense. 4.79, fairly low for 7 jack, and also 7 and jack are far enough away that it's very hard to make runs. Anything else to note here? The aces score very, ace combos also score very low in the crib. Ace jack, ace 9, ace 7. So if we really needed to avoid our opponent scoring, we'd probably go for one of those. I was thinking that ace 7 would be the one I would choose, but that's, I guess, biased by the fact that it's worth the most points in hand, 2.67, because we get to keep the 9 and the jack. Ace 9, ace 7. What are the differences between ace 9, ace 7, and ace jack? Well, in this case, ace jack is worth the least in the crib because we have a 4 in hand, so we block some of the 15s. But we don't have a 5 in hand, so for ace 9 we don't stop our opponent from throwing away any of their 5s. And similarly for ace 7, well, ace 7 is worth less in the crib automatically because we block one. By putting ace 7 in, our opponent needs to have another 7 in order to make 15, but it does score more points. And that's why ace 7, I guess, has a higher standard deviation, because if the opponent does put 7 in the crib, it's worth a whole lot more points when it does hit. Okay. So on average, the best one to go for is going to be ace jack, and it also has the smallest standard deviation, so that should be quite nice. That would be what we should do if we really wanted our opponent to stop scoring. And 3, 4, 7, 9, it does improve on a lot of top cards. We get 2 points on an ace, 5 points on a 2, quite a lot of points on a 5, but 5s are always better for the dealer. That's what they say, at least. We get 2 points on a 6, a lot of points on an 8, and no points on a 10. So that's the only thing that's kind of annoying, is that we don't improve our score if we hit any 10 value card. Okay, I think that's about everything that we can extract from this hand for now, so I will see you in the next game.